Welcome everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Bills, and today we're dealing with a 1933 Napier-Railton. Now this has 765 horsepower, 1,501 pounds-feet of torque from a 24 litre W12 engine, and the car itself now weighs 4,128 pounds. Now has off-road tyres, all-wheel drive and off-road suspension, and it can do 0 to 60 in 3.197 seconds, 0 to 100 in 8.167 seconds, and going to a top speed of 185 miles an hour. So obviously this is quite an old car. It's still got its original engine because you can't swap an engine into it as a replacement. And yeah, it's got a few disadvantages going against it. Not only is it really rather long and still rather quite heavy with a limited amount of horsepower, but we're also still dealing with rear-wheel braking only. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what this can do. Granted, I have been able to improve those brakes at the rear end, but at the end of the day, it is still half the braking capacity of what most normal cars can do. And with this having all of its engine upgrades, it does make some quite weird noises now. It sounds like it's got like a supercharger on it, but it hasn't. And yeah, it's making those kind of weird noises, but I like the weird noises that older engines make, especially when you upgrade them on this game. Because yeah, this was never meant to be revving to nearly 3,000 RPM. If you'd have seen my review, you'll know that. Yeah, this is a cracking car in stock terms because it's how mental it is to drive. But here it's dealing with everything okay so far. It'd be hilarious if this beats the Audi R8 from the previous episode, which had pretty much everything going in its favour, and it was weirdly slow. This isn't too bad in terms of acceleration, but it's everything else that I'm worried about. It certainly wasn't meant to do in this, even if roads back in the 30s were hardly the most advanced. And yeah, it's a lot more power than it had originally. Not a massive amount more, granted. It's only about just over 200 horsepower more. But when you're dealing with an old vehicle like this, that's a lot of extra power. Brakes seem to not be hindering us too much, thankfully. I was worried that braking hard would make the rear end step out like it does in stock form, but thankfully not. Not all that quick across the finish line though. I can't remember the last time we were under 150 across the finish line, but we have nonetheless managed a time of 2 minutes 12 seconds .359, which isn't all that quick whatsoever, but it is quicker than the Audi R8 from the previous episode, which is remarkable given the age difference and the power difference and everything else. It's also quicker than the Ferrari GT4 Lusso, another car that is far newer and more modern than this, the 1965 Ford Transit, and it's only 0.1 of a second off a Cadillac Eldorado, which is fairly impressive, while not being all that far off an Aerial Nomad and a similarly aged Bentley 8 litre. So yeah, if you're looking for a 1930s car to do this kind of course, then the 8 litre will suffice more so than this. But it's also managed to beat a Morris Minor 1000, Morris Mini Traveller, Volkswagen Double Cab Pickup, Hummer H1 Alpha, Volkswagen Beetle and an MGB GT, as well as a Mini X-Ray John Cooper Works buggy. So yeah, it's quicker than some modern cars by a fair old margin, which is a big surprise. But I am surprised it's slower than the Bentley 8 litre, because yeah, that's an even larger car, and I think that was even heavier in even with upgrades. So yeah, that is a remarkable in terms of two 1930s cars being rubbing shoulders, should I say, with cars that are far newer than them. But yeah, this was still fairly impressive given everything that was going against it. It doesn't have as much power as some other vehicles in the series, still dealing with a hell of a lot of weight, only has rear-wheel braking, and yeah, hardly has the most responsive of engines or gearboxes. So yeah, really rather surprised by it. I was expecting it to be a lot slower, if I'm honest. So yeah, really glad it's as quick as it is, because I do love the car. It is one of the most mental vehicles on the game in stock form. So yeah, if you still haven't got it, then get it, and it's well worth your time in terms of trying to get it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.